Coming up on the business end of the USL Championship season, two teams below the playoff line fighting for their lives. Monterey Bay against San Antonio in a matchup brought to you by Montage Health from Cardinale Stadium in Seaside, California. Happy to have you with us this evening on ESPN Plus. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. As we take a look at the standings, brought to you by Possibilities, where everything is possible. The possibilities of these two teams making the playoffs starting to dwindle, but Monterey Bay still right there, only 2 points back. San Antonio in a bit more danger, 5 points back. And Ricky, if Monterey Bay is going to find a way above that line, Alex Dixon needs to recapture some of the form that we've seen from him in his career. 4 goals, 1 assist on the season, so now you need a little bit more productivity to match the talent, because the talent is there and there's no shortage of it. We'll see him start on this right-hand side, but he can come centrally and look for him to combine around the players around him. I do think for Jordan Stewart, you're going to find Alex Dixon early, and often you will find success in the attacking third for Monterey Bay here tonight. And one of those players around him, an old player, but also a new player, just re-signed 2 days ago, Christian Valesky, the all-time leading scorer for Monterey Bay. 18 goals last season over all competitions. Christian Valesky is a ruthless finisher, has a very good feel, the types of runs that are needed in and around that 18-yard box. We will not see him start tonight, but when he comes on the field, the question for Jordan Stewart is, what does the service look like against him, and how clinical can he be in the attacking third? He can make all the difference for the Crispin Kelp. On the other side now for San Antonio, they're in uncharted territory. Under Alan Marcina, they've never missed the playoffs. They obviously put the star above the crest in 2022. They are running out of time, otherwise this streak is going to end. He needs to push all the right buttons to get the best, not only out of the individual, but the collective, especially away from home where they've only won once. It's a big opportunity here to right their wrongs against Monterey Bay, because you do not have the luxury, if you are San Antonio, to drop any more points. Now it's Jorge Hernandez who leads the way offensively. Pair of goals, 8 assists. They have a lot from him and they ask a lot of him, but they still need more with all the points starting to look in a wrong way right now for San Antonio. Look for him to dictate tempo, to pull the strings from a deep line position. He has the quality to break lines in terms of the opposition and that back line. Jorge Hernandez needs to be the best player on the field for San Antonio if they have any hopes of seeing all 3 points back to Texas. These two teams, again, have been struggling as of late. It's 1 win over the last month and a half for San Antonio. Winless in the last 7 for Monterey Bay, but they're both still right up against that playoff line. 3 vital points on the line. A 6-point swing between San Antonio and Monterey Bay is next.
As Montage Health celebrates its 90th anniversary, we're taking a look at the past, recognizing how we started and where we are heading. Over the decades, we have grown from a hospital to an entire healthcare system. Today, Montage Health remains an independent, locally owned, nonprofit organization. We are proud to offer healthcare services for every chapter of life. At Montage Health, our history of excellence is rooted in a commitment to our community. That commitment lives on today and for the next 90 years and beyond.
Is something that is built. It takes time.
This one's for the underdog that gets up before the sun comes up. Success is something that suggests that you have made an extra effort above and beyond what your competitors and other people do. Success at Coastal is making sure that we do your job right and we take care of your family and we take care of our family. We are Coastal. We are family.
Brisk evening here in Seaside, down in the low 60s. You see the fans bundled up as the players take the field. Monterey Bay and San Antonio, brought to you by Montage Health. These two teams fighting for their playoff lives here tonight. Let's meet the starting lineups for both. Beginning with the home side, Monterey Bay, headed up by Jordan Stewart.
4 in the back. Kai Green and Lara, what does that relationship look like? Red Blur will push a line higher and play as a number 10. Noladi and Fair look for them to dictate tempo and to be that security blanket in front of this back line. I do think the defensive side of the ball is going to be really important to win second balls. So now you afford Walmer Martinez, Gonzalez, and Alex Dixon to go and search a game and start to express himself higher up the field.
And remember the most important name there, not in the 11, on the bench, Valesky, the returnee, their leading scorer all time, signed 2 days ago. Can he have an impact later? And this is the 11 for San Antonio.
I think you're going with destruction for Alan Marcina, 4-4-2, Agudelo and Soloniak. What does that relationship look like? Two players that have experience and have had success. Hernandez and Briado, they need to dictate tempo and play this game at their terms. So you have Jafal and you have Hawkinson. Look for them to work great and to apply support underneath that double striking pair for Alan Marcina.
And notice only 4 outfield players available on the bench for San Antonio. A very light travel roster that could impact things later on. It is Monterey Bay, the black from right to left. It is San Antonio in the white from left to right. Eligio Adegin, the referee, sends us on our way here in Seaside. Monterey Bay and San Antonio on ESPN Plus. Happy to have you along this evening. With MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Wasting no time going over the top here, but the offside flag comes up on Michael Gonzalez. And looking at this bench for San Antonio, as mentioned before, really light tonight, only 4 outfield players. It's mostly comprised as well of academy players. Richard Van Bickler, the only quote-unquote pro contract guy as far as the outfield players go on the bench tonight. In addition to Mabangu. So it's really a difficult situation for San Antonio. You're talking about maybe more urgency than normal to get it done early on. Otherwise, you start getting into the depths of the benches and tired legs set in. It's a very difficult task tonight.
We talked about the bench or lack thereof for San Antonio FC, so I will not be surprised if we see them play a little bit more direct and try to battle for second balls to win that real estate battle for Alan Marcina's side. On the other side, for Jordan Stewart and this Monterey Bay side. Good action here. I'll expect them to press a little bit higher, try to force San Antonio to play out of the press and recover the ball, more advantageous parts of the field.
Chatting with head coach Jordan Stewart coming into this one, felt that transition was the biggest threat posed by San Antonio. And he said not only is it their biggest asset, their transitional play, that it's our biggest weakness for Monterey Bay, their transitional defense. So it's San Antonio's strength against Monterey Bay's weakness. Keep an eye on that as we go into this first half. Take a look at the injury report brought to you by Montage Health. A few names on there for San Antonio. That's why that bench is so light tonight. Siaha was questionable, by the way, for Monterey Bay. That's why Herrera gets to start, but he's available on the bench, so not fit enough to start Siaha, but he is the emergency backup goalkeeper tonight. Carter Manley breaking lines. Agudelo turns. Agudelo forcing his way forward, still with it, but it's behind Solinac.
A little bit of the glimpse of what Agudelo can bring in the attacking phase of the game for San Antonio. Strength, soft feet, can bring players in with him as well. And then Soloniak has to be on the same page if Alan Marcina's side have any success in the attacking phase of the game.
Some of the names that we've already mentioned in 3 minutes between Agudelo and Solinac and Hernandez. This is a very talented San Antonio roster. It really leaves you scratching your head on the outside looking in as to why they're in the position they are, or they might miss the playoffs for the first time under Alan Marcina. But then we tell you about the bench and how light it is tonight, and that's really been a theme all season long, where they just haven't had the numbers and the depth to buoy what is a very talented top line.
Coaches talk about consistency over and over in USL Championship and in world football in terms of their performances, but it's also consistency in the lineup. Players that you can depend on. Players that you can dip into your bench when you need a little bit of an impact. San Antonio has struggled in that department to the health.
use a starting lineup combination that's been different in 26 of 29 matches. And coming into tonight, 119 matches missed combined because of injuries, suspensions, or national team duties. 29 different players used in the course of the season. That gives you a glimpse for San Antonio, despite the talent, why they are where they are, 5 points back in the playoff line coming into the night. Monterey Bay, it's a bit of a different story. Start of the year in good form under Frank Yallop. Club and coach part ways. Jordan Stewart steps in, part of this 7-match winless run now. Seen a couple of players out the door, including Rafael Baca, who's popped back up now with their local rival, the Oakland Roots. Bring Valesky in on the bench. So they've just been in flux really for the last month and a half, 2 months after a good start. Seen them fall below the playoff line. If not for that really fast start, where they racked up all those points, they'd probably be in a lot worse position than they are right now. Remember, a win tonight for Monterey Bay, and they're back above that playoff line. Sent forward. Not the most convincing clearance effort here, but in the hands of Richard Sanchez. Another new face who's making a debut for San Antonio tonight, just signed 3 days ago. And you could add to that list Omar Gray, who came on loan from Houston Dynamo yesterday officially. So the 29 different players for San Antonio tonight grows to 31 different players this season. Sprung through into space now. Brejito down. It's out for a San Antonio throw. Taken quickly. All the way back to Connor Manley and now Kendall Burks. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. This one finds Brejito, but the offside flag comes up. So that Select ball in an offside position. You can visit us.select-sport.com for the latest product specials and more. Select, the player's choice.
About 7 minutes in, Brejito has shown that he's going to be the outlet for San Antonio, as Jordan Stewart is writing down some notes. Cannot get caught being narrow in your defensive structure because he's just going to peel out and provide width for San Antonio. So if you are Alex Dixon and Guzman, one steps, the other one needs to provide coverage in beyond. I'm not sure with how expansive that Alan Marcina wants to be in through his front three.
Donor. Straight ahead into space from Dixon. Free kick on the way from Monterey Bay. A vehement disagreement from Luke Hawkinson.
Really clever run from Nolati. There's a little bit of contact from Hawkinson. Doesn't drop his shoulder. Maybe comes through the backside of Nolati. That's what gets him in trouble. But I tend to agree with the San Antonio player. Not a lot of contact in that action. But yet, Monterey Bay will take it. As it went a dangerous set piece as Alex Dixon stands over it.
Not the year we're accustomed to seeing from Alex Dixon, now up at 34 years of age. 12 goals, 2 assists last year. Just 4 goals, 1 assist this year. Dixon goes short into the area. Nolati goes for goal, and it's just wide. Didn't curl enough. Right idea, nearly pulled it off.
Clever set piece for Monterey Bay as everyone for San Antonio is retreating towards the goal line. Has to get it off really quickly, Nolati. Does everything right, just unable to wrap his foot around it to get it to bend back across. As Sanchez scrambling towards his far post. Good action from the home side.
Nolati, the 19-year-old, joined San Diego Loyal with their inaugural academy back in 2021. Been a part of various U.S. Youth national camps, 12 appearances, 5 starts and an assist this year. Monterey Bay. Revelar struggling to get past Brejito, and Brejito, is it going to be a yellow or not? That's the conversation now that Monterey Bay is trying to have. Tactical, no attempt for the ball, still early in the match. Maybe Eligio Adeguin, Oxford talking to. A stern final warning, and I think that's what this is.
Going to be walking a very fine line for the rest of this match, Brejito. Not the first time that we've seen him and Revelar get entangled.
Corner coming from Monterey Bay, first of the evening. It is a bagel corner kick. Do it again. Not a bad service from Dixon. Won't count. And again, saw something he wants to put to bed before the official corner gets taken. Second effort from Dixon. Loose in front. And it's wide. Off the clearance effort, ricocheted. Almost the moment for Monterey Bay. Very fortunate San Antonio to get off the hook.
We've seen how dangerous that Monterey Bay can be on set pieces, especially with Alex Dixon over it. You're Richard Santos, when you come off your line, you need to be really decisive that you're going to make a play on this ball. A lot of bodies just missees it. There's times that unable to put it across the goal line, Monterey Bay.
Jordan Stewart didn't sugarcoat it. They were very disappointed after their loss against Miami, which was preceded by a draw against El Paso. 2 bottom place teams in the league, El Paso in the West, Miami in the East. And they come away from those 2 games, which on paper you're looking ahead, Ricky, and you say, all right, here's 6 points that maybe jumpstart our season, get us back above the playoff line. You take 1 out of 6. They were very disappointed leaving those 2 matches.
And how do you right those wrongs? And what does the message look like from Jordan Stewart to get a reaction out of his side, especially at home, where they've won 4 times, they've lost 3, and they tied 6. To make Carnally Stadium a little bit more of a fortress for Monterey Bay.
Oh, it's Walmer Martinez drawing the ire of our referee. He gives the same stern final warning that he gave moments ago to Brejito on the other side. Seven-match day in USL Championship. Earlier tonight, 0-0 draw between Hartford and Indy in the Eastern Conference. 2-0 win for Pittsburgh over Rhode Island out east. Good news for both of these teams. Charleston 2-1 win over Sacramento. So in an east-west matchup, the points stay east. The same could be said in North Carolina, Oakland, 5-0 win for North Carolina over the Roots, but not the same that could be said for this matchup. At the hour mark, it's Colorado Springs up 4-0 on Tampa Bay. So in that east versus west, the points come into the west. At the hour mark, El Paso and Detroit City are 0-0. And this was our final match of the night in USL Championship to kick off. Colorado Springs in the live table, tied for second in terms of the points with Sacramento Republic. It's quite the battle going on at the playoff line here in the Western Conference, but there's also a real battle being waged for the home playoff spots. Sacramento in second on 41, all the way down to Las Vegas in 6th on 38. 3 points separating second and 6th. Played in by Donor. Nobody in the vicinity. Comes all the way out to Dixon.
Through 14 minutes, we have not really seen much of Gonzalez, the striker from Monterey Bay. To be him, get him a little bit more influential if you're Jordan Stewart, maybe on the ball, but also those selfless runs towards a corner flag to pull out one of the defenders, and that's when you can have Moby Fair or the players underneath him come alive in the attacking third. Everything has been in front of this back line for San Antonio, which makes life very easy for the defensive structure of Alan Marcina.
Poor clearance effort. Ends up with Gonzalez. And the mess cleaned up by Omar Gregg and the loanee as of yesterday from Houston Dynamo. Spent his time at MLS Next Pro with the second team. Former University of Washington standout collegiately from the Seattle area. That's again really what it's been this year for San Antonio. Just finding a way to put together a starting 11. Even if it means a loanee who officially inked all necessary paperwork yesterday, and a goalkeeper who did so 3 days ago. Quarter of an hour gone, still scoreless, neither side. All too threatening as of yet. Massive 6-point swing on the line here in the Western Conference playoff chase. We are finally going to see a yellow card here. Walmer Martinez and that final warning from our referee moments ago. And now he steps over the line.
First play in the book. Walmer Martinez for Monterey Bay. Again, in my opinion, I think it's a bit soft. It is a foul, no question about it. To see yellow the first 16 minutes here, that's where I have a little bit of an issue. Nonetheless, if you are Walmer Martinez, how smart can you be in terms of your discipline for the remainder of this match?
Talk to Jordan Stewart about the mental state of this Monterey Bay side right now. On the one hand, of course, it's 7 winless, but on the other hand, a win tonight puts you above the playoff line. So the group is still in a very positive mindset because of where they're at in the table. That's been the main focus, knowing that all that's gone wrong, they're still right there. They've adapted to the personnel changes and the coaching changes. They'll know what's at stake, even if it's not enough at the end to go on a run here and get above the playoff line. They want to end strong because at the very least, it's some momentum into the offseason and then into next season. So regardless of how the chips fall, and they will fall where they may, just want to finish strong for these fans, for the players, and for some clarity maybe on the future. Here's Agudelo. It's been tough for Agudelo at times this year with the revolving door of pieces around him. The only consistent one, of course, has been Hernandez. It's been tough to find link-up play for Agudelo. Now it's Dixon, slides it through. On the turn, Gonzalez. Nalati. All the way back for Guzman.
San Antonio having a really difficult time with turning over Monterey Bay, and when they get on the ball, unable to connect that first pass forward. And you're looking at Soloniak and Agudelo just be a little bit stronger by relieving some of the pressure, slowing the game down, drawing fouls. To be that focal point for Alan Marcina. It's been mostly one-way traffic through the first 18 minutes here.
Guzman calling for it, gets it from Kai Green.
Good ball.
Finds Maury Donor. Still Donor. Skid pass across to Guzman. Space for Dixon, numbers forward. Alex Dixon in the end line, slides it in front. Ball still loose and just poked away. Fired back through the traffic and blocked. Friendly fire there. Scoop back to the back post now. Gonzalez lurking. Comes to Dixon. Threat not done yet. Guzman all the way across. Brought down by Donor. Revelar, end line, Revelar, Tornolati. Oh, that amounts to a corner.
Really good action for Monterey Bay. Just some numbers committed into the final third for Jordan Stewart's side. Guzman is left side of the three-back system. So now as you bring in a player, you free up Alex Dixon. As this ball comes across, you're just asking someone to be a little bit more proactive and to react quick enough to slam it home.
Another bagel corner kick toward the back post. Dixon was there, rather Kai Green, excuse me. And it's a goal kick, the final verdict.
Clever ball from Walmart Martinez, just lobbed it into that back post, and you just see what Jordan Stewart was signaling. You have a little bit of more of a will from Kai Green, because if he does any sort of clean contact on it, it's 1-0 Monterey Bay.
USL Championship Soccer continues on the ESPN networks in September with a matchup of top teams in the Eastern Conference. Detroit City FC take on Players Shield leaders Louisville City FC in a Sunday afternoon clash, September 22nd at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. Andrews out of the back here. Rebelar clips it out wide. Herrera put him under a bit of pressure. He plays out of it well. Here's Guzman. This team has met all the way back in March. 2-1 win for San Antonio. They lead the all-time series, 4 wins and a draw. Monterey Bay's never beaten San Antonio. Be a big night to get that done for the first time tonight. There's some space for Brejito. Jesus Brejito tracked down. Brejito going for goal. No trouble at all for Herrera.
He's been lively, Brejito. Left footer playing on the right-hand side. I do think just has a little bit more patience to let this play develop. Agudelo makes a really clever run from outside in. That passing lane was open, and yet it's an easy save for Herrera. A little bit of a glimpse of how transitional San Antonio can be at turning their defense into offense, especially on this near side.
Brejito just joined on loan last month in August on the 17th from Chivas Guadalajara. Scored in his debut. Okay, you just go through this 11 for San Antonio. A number of players who were brought in recently, whether it was as recently as a day ago or 3 days ago in the cases of Gray and Sanchez respectively, or 3 weeks ago in the case of Brejito. That's been the MO this year for San Antonio. Again, just piecing it together any way you can. It's been unfair to Alan Morcina to judge him based on this season. I think from the outside looking in, you have to judge him more on body of work, what he's done for San Antonio the last 4 years. We showed you pregame, 4 straight playoff appearances, twice to at least the Western Conference Final, once winning it all in 2022. Cards have been stacked against him this year. And yet, 5 points out coming into tonight. A very winnable game, but with only 4 outfield players on the bench. So it's been that give and take all year long where they're right there, but there's always a but at the end of the sentence this year for San Antonio.
There's just no real movement when in possession. Look at Hernandez, Jafal, and Hawkinson all occupying the same space. As a double pivot, you need to play on different lines. If Jafal's stepping a little bit deeper, now Hawkinson has the freedom to join the attack a little bit more forward. result of it is just a bit sloppy. Now you give the ball back to Monterey Bay. And it's those little things that make a massive difference through the run of play that can get you in a rhythm.
Which of tonight's results grabs your attention the most? Obviously the 5-0 North Carolina jumps off the page. So too does the Colorado Springs 4-0 over Tampa Bay. Anytime you see scores that lopsided, but a few big ones tonight around the league.
Bob Willie's side, big 3-point against Rhode Island. That was unbeaten for a large streak. Continue to push in. They are in the playoff picture now. You look at Charleston Battery, that's a massive result for Ben Pierman. And Marquette tying the single season scoring record at 25.
Here's Hernandez, scoots on by Fair, bouncing around and somehow worked away by Guzman. Played back in behind for Brujito. Has some options. Jesus Brujito cuts in, scoops it, danger area off the post. Perfect ball from Brujito. Plays it right into that corridor of uncertainty. Nobody touched it. Maybe it goes in on its own, and it nearly did.
Flawless. And the placement of this ball from Brujito, like you just said, Joe, these are the ones as the goalkeeper, it's a nightmare because you cannot react quick enough. You have to wait if someone touches it. More times often than not, the ball's already by you. Herrera's stuck on his goal line. Big opportunity that goes missed for San Antonio to take the lead here.
San Antonio's first Spagel corner kick. And it amounts to nothing in the end. I want to go quickly here, Monterey Bay. Committing numbers forward. Burks gets a head on it. Martinez. Lehio Adeguin stops play for potential head injury here. Sees Reese Buckmaster doubled over after that header. Good bit of refereeing, picking up on that, stopping it right away. Take a look here, Buckmaster going through that concussion check. It seemed like a run-of-the-mill header away as the ball came through. Started to scramble some players over on the bench just in case here, San Antonio. Body language of that conversation seems to indicate he's all right. Presents an opportunity for everybody else to get a breather, over for a chat with the coaches. Jordan Stort's been very involved with his team over on the sideline. They've been the better of the two sides through the first half hour. More dangerous of the two sides. They've controlled possession. They've found the territory. It's 24 final third entries for Monterey Bay, just 7 for San Antonio.
There's no real rhythm for San Antonio. And once they've had the most opportunities as came on this near side through Brujito.
You can tune into CBS Sports Network in September for a USL Championship Eastern Conference clash. Strong playoff contender Tampa Bay Rowdies travel north to face the Birmingham Legion side, battling to keep above the playoff line. That is this coming Wednesday, the 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. It's going to be a steaming Tampa Bay Rowdies as well. Again, down 4-0 at the moment to Colorado Springs.
Quite a team that has been struggling as of late for form as well. Only one win under their last 6, and it was against Miami.
Buckminster footballer.
Dixon. Martinez. Back out to Nolati. Some space here for Moby Fair. Chips it through. It's a good idea. You could see the wheels turning. And as soon as it was played through, Martinez realized it as well.
Really like what we've seen for Monterey Bay through the first half hour here. You build on a 3-back system, so now you afford Alex Dixon on this near side and more Donor on that far side to be expansive in nature, high and wide. And what that does, that pin backs with 2 outside backs for San Antonio, Buckmaster and Gray. Now they need to make a decision. Do they stay compact with their 2 center backs, or do they go out and engage with the wing backs? That little hesitation frees up Walmart Martinez and Nolati underneath in those half spaces, affording those players a little bit of freedom. Jordan Stewart is in the attacking third. Now it's just that final action that's been lacking through this match.
Made through toward Mendez, shielded well by Green. Half an hour gone. Here in Seaside. Cardinale Stadium crowd. A little bit more people. Look out. Oh my goodness. You won't see that again tonight, I don't think, because Monterey Bay will not be as daring. All it takes is one warning moment like that.
A mistake for Kai Green, actually played off to him. And he tried to play it into the path of Herrera, but just missed its location. You have Solniak making a run in and goes all the way to find Lara.
I mean, that's a brilliant ball for Kai Green if you're at the other end of the field. Fizz it right through the 6-yard box, but not at this end. No harm, no foul. Now the other way for Monterey Bay. A cool evening here at Cardinale Stadium. Fans bundled up. Breeze coming off the water up in the upper 50s. It is certainly fall. We are certainly near the finish line of the season. Every game has that heightened sense of urgency. Had an interesting conversation with Jordan Stewart about that this week, actually. If it were a situation where it were 0-0 or it were 1-1, in your eyes, we asked him, is a draw as good as a loss because you need 3, because you're trying to push that line? Would you be more aggressive and risk losing at the expense of going for a win instead of just playing for a tie? And I said it was a great question, and they'd have to weigh it out depending on, okay, are we on the front foot for the last 15 minutes going into that? Are we on the back foot? But in a vacuum, the answer was, yeah, we're going to go for it. And the longer this game is 0-0, you wonder how much more, as a result of that, Monterey Bay would be aggressive instead of trying to hold on to a 0-0 like they maybe would have a month or 2 ago. Will they be more aggressive in the subs? Will they be more aggressive in the tactics to try and go and get that win?
I think for this game specifically as well, don't be surprised if you see Monterey Bay being more aggressive, especially with the bench. Their bench versus the San Antonio bench, how deep it is. Valesky, we talked about him in the open, coming back into the fold for Monterey Bay. And Robinson can provide you a little bit of width in the attacking third and quality. Goes on the list as well. Dane Glasser, all players that can give you a little bit of an impact and some quality as this game continues to stay 0-0.
As it stands, Monterey Bay 1 point beneath the playoff line, but the math is not in their favor when you start talking about games in hand, possible points remaining, all things like that. Tulsa is the team sitting in 8th, right above Monterey Bay, but Tulsa has 2 games in hand on Monterey Bay. And then even beneath them, Orange County, they're only a point back right now. Orange County have a game in hand. Phoenix, after last night's showing, in a bit safer of a position now on 33. Goal here would do a world of wonders for Monterey Bay. They'll have another bagel corner kick.
Last time out from this very location, it was a lofted ball to the back post for Kai Green. Expect something similar. Well, this in-swinger from Walmart Martinez stands over it.
Curled right into the hands of Sanchez. Solinak running through the heart of that back line. Will he get there? Solinak battling. Almost. For all the talk about the transitional game of San Antonio that struck some fear into Monterey Bay, we haven't seen a lot of it in this one so far. That was the first real good look at it.
Also give credit to the recognition for these Monterey Bay players. When the ball gets turned over, whether through possession or a set piece, how quickly they have the ability to recover. We've seen Rebler track back over 30, 40 yards. This time it's Nolati doubling down on Soloniak because that's a really good ball back into him. This game has been played at a very high tempo. Balls move extremely quick between the lines. Both of these teams know and can sense how important the 3 points up for grabs are.
Dixon could not get around Gray. Hernandez slowed down. Won cleanly in the end by Monterey Bay. Switch from Martinez to Dixon. Good touch from Alex Dixon. Gonzalez slides it back for Dixon. Now Gonzalez again. Nolati rotates in, whipped across. It's usually where Gonzalez is lurking, but he was the one on the service. It'll be a bagel corner kick.
But as your striker peels out, now there needs to be a secondary action, whether it's from the weak side or from your number 10. Someone needs to slash across that near post. Because if you do and you get on the end of it, it's an easy goal. But if you don't, you pull out one of the center backs from San Antonio and open up a massive gap.
Dixon, service, open header it was. But it's well off target in the end, Gonzalez. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
Go Jim, go King.
Can only imagine what some of those topics of conversation will be with Mike Watson, Devin Kerr on USL All Access this week. A lot of big results we touched on earlier. We've got the record-tying goal for Nick Marcanic. We've got some thumpings. Colorado Springs 4-0 on Tampa Bay. North Carolina 5-0 on Oakland. Playoff picture right around the time that you think it's maybe becoming clear, it's becoming the opposite. It's becoming murkier here in USL Championship, but that's good because it means more drama for you, the fans at home, and more fun for us in the booth.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Play from Omar Gray. And it's last off of Alex Dixon. No coming for San Antonio.
He's been under some pressure through this first half. Omar Gray, the right back for San Antonio, and he's done quite well. Just needs a little bit more help from his center midfielder, whether it is Hawkinson or Rigido. There's a fall in there as well. Mentioned how Monterey Bay likes to create a little bit of an overload with Alex Dixon, Aladi underneath them. So as he peels off, now you need whether it's a center back or Hawkinson to drop in and provide some coverage.
Manley sends it long. This This is only the 12th final third entry here for San Antonio, compared to 30 for Monterey Bay, but neither side with much to show. We are at a combined .11 expected goals in this one so far. Four shots for Monterey Bay, 2 shots for San Antonio. Hefty possession advantage at 63% for Monterey Bay. Now it's Hernandez, skirts it through, cut back by Agudelo. Solinak a step ahead of it. That was the most dangerous they've looked connecting in behind.
A little bit of a glimpse of why Jorge Hernandez is just so comfortable in tight spaces. Center of gravity. Good move yet again from San Antonio. This time it's Hawkinson.
East on the way for the visitors.
Two goals, 8 assists on the season. This turn right here, fantastic. But if you're Juan Agudelo, no need to try to put this back across. Why not call your own number and really test Herrera? Close in proximity. Need to be a little bit more instinctual from the experience. Striker.
Hawkinson still down. They didn't need the assistance of the trainer. More a matter, it seems, of gritting through it. To his feet. '80th overall pick by Nashville in MLS back in 2020. Spent the last 4 years with Nashville before joining San Antonio this season. On his 23rd start tonight. 57 appearances in MLS. And the top of the San Antonio roster, like Agudelo and Hernandez and Hawkinson and so on and so forth, experienced, talented. It's just there hasn't really been a middle or bottom of the roster, considering all of the injuries and international and all those things that have plagued them this year. From the free kick, Agudelo couldn't get there. In by Burks, but it's going to be a throw for San Antonio. Monterey Bay was ready to go up the field with it. Seemed like it came off of Burks last. Just 3 to go in this first half. Hito. San Antonio seeing some more time on it now in the attacking half. This throw goes Monterey Bay's way. Talk about Monterey Bay and how they might be aggressive in the second half. Going back to that conversation with Jordan Stewart and how a tie is almost as good as a loss in this scenario. You wonder what the calculus is like for San Antonio in the second half, because they're worse off than Monterey Bay is. They're 3 points further back, but factor in they've only got 4 outfield players tonight, only 2 of which are players who have played any really sort of significant role this year for San Antonio. So they're in a spot where they really can't impact the game too much with subs in the second half, so they almost can't be aggressive. So for the team who really needs to go for it because they're 3 back of Monterey Bay, they really can't. Monterey Bay maybe can exploit it, be aggressive, force San Antonio to try to match. It's going to be a chess match in half number 2, especially if we're still knotted up at 0-0.
I think if you're Alan Marcina and you walk into halftime 0-0, you're probably the happier of the 2 managers for just that reason, Joe. You don't really have the options coming off the bench, so you're just playing for crucial moments, set pieces, transitional portions of the game are going to be quite important to claw yourself and to kickstart the attacking phase. And this is kind of the plan that I'm talking about between Jafal and Hawkinson. Look at the disconnect between that front line and midfield line for San Antonio. Not one player within 20 yards of Agudelo Solignac. Makes life very difficult for them to get any sort of touches on the ball and to supply. Translate into a shove down the middle part of the field from Manly. And Monterey Bay yet again able to recover the ball.
Minutes of stoppage time here in half number one.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. Brought to you by Montage Health.
Monterey Bay looking to break out. Watch this run from Alex Dixon. Full head of steam down this left side. It's kept the whole time instead by Martinez. Dixon wasn't happy. Martinez almost made up for it. Alex Dixon was not happy that he did not receive that ball from Martinez.
Bottom of your screen, exactly what you pointed out, Joe. About a 60-yard run. If you're Walmart Martinez, you need to play it now. Right into the path of Alex Dixon, but as you continue to keep the ball at your feet, really difficult angle. Now you afford San Antonio the ability to come across and just to get numbers a bit deeper and make life difficult. Little moments like that are crucial to the success in your goal scoring opportunities.
Out by Gray before Dixon could turn the corner. Martinez fed through for Nalati. Into the area, Gonzalez off target.
As an attacking player, especially as a striker, how do you create your own space? Continue with the momentum. Take that touch away from Burks. If you're Gonzalez, you have to take a positive touch into the 18-yard box as you kill the momentum of the ball. Now the advantage is for the center back. Just to stand you up, no window, and that's why it goes wide.
Clears. 3 minutes nearly come and gone. That might do it here for half number one. There's the whistle to end half number one. Not much going on from either side. Still not up at zeros through 45.
If you're Alan Martino, you're definitely the happier of the two coaches. 0-0, pulling out, playing your best football, no bench, so you're looking for a crucial moment, a set piece on the other side for Jordan Stewart. The better of the two sides. Now you're just asking for that last bit of quality in that final third that's been lacking. All to play for in this next 45.
All to play for indeed. Monterey Bay with a win could jump above the playoff line. San Antonio with a loss would really be adrift and in a bad spot. It's a massive 6-point swing potentially on the line in half number two. Scoreless at the break between Monterey Bay and San Antonio.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montreo, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montreo, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Halftime brought to you by Integris Wealth Management. Still scoreless between Monterey Bay and San Antonio. And apparently, the Monterey Bay roster believes certain foods should not exist.
What food should not exist?
I'm gonna go with tofu. Disgusting. Tofu for sure.
Hot Cheetos. No, they're really good. So anything that tastes good, for me is bad.
Pickles and avocado. If any of that touch my food, can't eat it. Gotta throw it away.
What food should not exist? Mushrooms, for sure. Mushrooms are disgusting.
I would say beets. I really don't like beets, but beetroot powder before games is important to be able to run for a long time, but can't eat beets.
Broccoli, cauliflower.
Food that should not exist for me is squash. Like the texture, man. It's nasty. Or eggplant.
Tomatoes.
I don't like pickles, but I feel like most people like pickles. Think pineapple on pizza shouldn't exist.
Pineapple on pizza.
Sweet potatoes, gotta be mushrooms. Can't stand them. Can't stand them.
I despise grapefruit. It should not exist, and the taste is disgusting.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
This is the beginning. This is a first practice, a first video session, a first pregame talk. This is a first ticket, a first scarf raise, a first kickoff. This is a tapestry of clubs and players and communities inspired by those who blazed the trail for women's sports, ready to inspire the next generation. We are the USL Super League. We're part of a movement, and this is our moment.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Beautifully done, Pino! My goodness! 2-0 for Birmingham.
Worth takes it. Oh, and it's in! Nate Worth with a moment of brilliance.
mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
As Montage Health celebrates its 90th anniversary, we're taking a look at the past, recognizing how we started and where we are heading. Over the decades, we have grown from a hospital to an entire healthcare system. Today, Montage Health remains an independent, locally owned, nonprofit organization. We are proud to offer healthcare services for every chapter of life. At Montage Health, our history of excellence is rooted in a commitment to our community. That commitment lives on today and for the next 90 years and beyond.
The Integris Wealth Management halftime show continues scoreless here between Monterey Bay and San Antonio. Time to take a look around the USL Championship with some news and notes as we're into the first full weekend of September. Nick Marcanic on his way to La Liga 2 next year with Castellón, and he might be, I say might be, probably, as long as he stays healthy, leave as the single-season record holder in USL Championship. Scored his 25th goal tonight, ties the record. He's got 6 more games to break it.
And it was a really good goal against Sacramento, where Charleston Battery took all 3 points. We talk about international duties. 30 players in USL Championship and League One, representing 21 countries in international duty this week. Hats off to USL as they continue to grow and produce high-quality professionals.
Some of those high-quality professionals on Vegas who continue their winning ways. Not the doormats they once were in the Western Conference. They are a force to be reckoned with as we head down the stretch here. Take a look at some of the scores from around the league. Had a couple in the bag last night. All identical 1-0 score lines, and it's Louisville and New Mexico just continuing to pace their respective conferences.
Phoenix Rising as well, the reigning champs, taking down FC Tulsa. Hartford draws in the 11 at home. Brandon Burke needs to get points. They need to get points quickly. We just talked about Charleston Battery taking off 3 points and bringing down Sacramento Republic. They're very well coached Mark Briggs side.
And Charleston came from behind to win that one. They were down 1-0. They needed to in order to keep pace with Louisville, and Sacramento unable to keep pace with New Mexico. Further along into the Saturday slate, saw some eye-openers earlier today. And the one that really stuck out was that 5-0 North Carolina against the Oakland Roots in the upper half of the Western Conference table, battling for a home playoff game, and that is not what they were looking for.
Not what you wanted for Gavin Glinson. Also, obviously, Pittsburgh Riverhounds taking all 3 points against Rhode Island. Big win for Bob Lilly's side as they continue to push up the Eastern Conference, and the Switchbacks up 4-2 against the Rowdies. Rowdies have not been in the best of form as of late under Robbie Nielsen.
This is the final game of the evening here in USL Championship, and as we take a look ahead for Monterey Bay, again, a win tonight would put them above the playoff line. If they don't pick it up tonight against the struggling San Antonio side in these next 45, Ricky, it gets very difficult going forward.
You're going to the Lights, you're going to Phoenix Rising, and you're going to Sacramento Republic. Not easy for Jordan Stewart. So this next 45 minutes, massive in terms of their playoff hopes, because after that, then you're welcoming Orange County and Detroit City, who in their own rights have talent as well.
We'll see what this second half will bring. You expect Monterey Bay to be maybe the more aggressive of the two sides in half number 2, just given the makeup of each roster tonight. Time will tell, and we're moments away from half number 2 scoreless between Monterey Bay and San Antonio.
At First Capital Bank, we are dedicated, consistent, and committed to your financial journey. Our experienced team builds trusted relationships with each client to understand your financial goals. Roads to success have detours. Let First Capital Bank guide your journey every step of the way. As your local community bank, our priority is to cultivate success through outstanding and uncompromising service. Join us on the journey to greatness with First Capital Bank.
At Integris Wealth Management, we know what it takes to be a good teammate. For 25 years, we've been your trusted ally. We are local and independent. We care for our clients' money as if it were our own. We believe in doing the right thing and work together to find big wins for you. Integris Wealth Management. We turn values into action and champion livelihoods.
Just about set to begin half number 2 as the Integris Wealth Management halftime show comes to a close. Will one of these two sides find that decisive moment, that winner in half number 2? First, we take a look back at highlights from half number 1. There were a couple of half chances both ways in that first half.
Both teams did everything well getting themselves into that final third, but it was a lack of quality once you got into the final third. No need for Hawkinson. I do think it was a bit soft, but set pieces were really important for Monterey Bay. That's when they showed that they can be the most lethal, especially whether it was Walmart Martinez or Alex Dixon over the ball. Take a look at it here. Lottie does really well to get his first touch out of his body. Hernandez does quite well as well to close down the space, unable to wrap his foot around it and bend it back into that far post. Set pieces will play a massive difference maker in that next 45. Hernandez started to grow into the game a little bit. You saw glimpses of how comfortable he can be in tight spaces, and this near side for San Antonio was probably the most active. Give credit to Lara, stays with the game and denies San Antonio their opening goal.
Seemed like from that point on, Monterey Bay was a better side in the half. Ended up with 6 shots, possession advantage, but again, nothing to show for it.
Again, look at the possession for Monterey Bay, 60% of the ball. What do you do with that possession? That's going to be the big talking point for Jordan Stewart and Alan Marcina. I do think transitional moments, when you recover the ball, your first pass needs to be forward into Agudelo and Solignac, because they've shown that they can be the players that can produce that magic and be those game changers.
One more look at the standings here before we get into half number 2, brought to you by Possibilities, where everything is possible. This is a live look. Tulsa 2 games in hand on Monterey Bay, who are still a point back. That all-important red line, of course, you want to be above that. San Antonio well below it, but 4 points off the pace. It's a big second half here. Monterey Bay could either jump Tulsa and be a point ahead of FC Tulsa, or San Antonio could draw level on points with Orange County and Monterey Bay, be within 2 of Tulsa. A lot on the line in this next 45 minutes. The Monterey Bay from left to right in the black, San Antonio from right to left in the white. Remember, San Antonio playing with a very shallow bench, 5 players in all, 1 goalkeeper, 4 outfield players. All of those 4 outfield players, 2 academy players, so it's a light travel group tonight. A lot rests on the shoulders of this starting group. On the other side, a full allotment of players for Monterey Bay, including Christian Valesky, who signed 2 days ago, the club's all-time leading scorer, 18 goals in all competitions. Could he be the spark they need not only tonight, but the rest of the way? Feels like a given. We'll see him at some point. The question just becomes when for Jordan Stewart. No changes made at the break from either side until now. Windbickler coming on for Sofiane Jafal. That leaves San Antonio with just 3 remaining outfield players on the bench tonight. Early change here. Richard Windbickler coming on. And we're underway in half number 2. Glad to have you along this evening as we round out this Saturday night of action in USL Championship. 7 games in all today. This is the final. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. 0-0 between Monterey Bay and San Antonio. Substitution brought to you by PBSI. Again, a Jeff Hall out, then Bickler in. action tomorrow in USL Championship. So tonight will end the week of play. We're back at it again next on Wednesday. 3 matches. Birmingham hosting Tampa Bay, Memphis hosting Hartford, Tulsa hosting Vegas, and that Birmingham-Tampa Bay game, and you can catch on CBS Sports Network.
Exiting the match, number 8, Zofian Sazal. Entering the match, number 40, Richard Van Dicker.
You head through Dixon for Gonzalez. Nalati pressuring. Donor. Return Martinez has a go. Remember, he is the lone yellow card for the first half as well, so Wilmer Martinez has to be careful.
Golden Golden.
Green aggressive stepping. Donor flicks it on. Martinez feeds it back to Donor. Maury Donor looking to get end line. Donor in front, just beyond Gonzalez.
Yet again, doing everything right, Monterey Bay. Unable to connect in around that 18-yard box. Gonzalez's movement. It's been top class for Monterey Bay. Watch out.
From beyond midfield. Not quite a Ricky Lopez-Espen effort. You kids at home, Google Fort Lauderdale. See, have we Fort Lauderdale at the time still?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, before the name change. Against South Georgia Tormenta. Ricky did that.
I'll make me blush.
I mean, unless your team's in a really bad spot, there's no harm in trying that. If you miss, it's very difficult. You get a soft clap from the coach for trying. If you make it, you're a hero. There's no downside to ever trying that, unless, again, you're down like 2-0 and things really aren't going your way.
But you have to hit it with laces, especially. Good ball.
Agudelo. Calling for it was Hernandez, but it's centered towards Solignac instead, and Herrera has it.
And the idea is there. They like the secondary movement of Solignac as Agudelo peels out. Now it opens up a gap for a second runner. Just overhit from Jorge Hernandez. Do have quality. If you do give San Antonio time and space, they can punish you.
And Bickler called for the foul. Racing ahead, it's Revelar. Revelar and Fair have really filled in for Rafael Baca in terms of the role and the void left in the midfield. Baca now gone to the Oakland roots. Here is Fair. Nalati. Dixon. Back to Dixon. Dixon goes for goal. It took a deflection, it appeared. Monterey Bay was starting to venture toward the corner.
Good decision. Moby Fair, understand there is a lot of traffic centrally, so why not just provide a little bit of width with Alex Dixon? I'd like to see him more influential in this second half, Alex Dixon. I'd be surprised if we see Jordan Stewart elect him to play centrally to get on the ball a little bit more.
Dangerous pass through the back line. We just saw Kai Green do that on the other end for Monterey Bay, or rather at this half of the field, but in the first half. On the other side, Kai Green I guess San Antonio did not take notice. That was almost identical, except Monterey Bay was closer to getting there than San Antonio was. I mean, that's U9 stuff. Don't clear the ball to the middle.
It's really sloppy. Thank God for Kendall Burks. Quick to react, because you have an oncoming run from Nalati at the doorstep.
Buckmaster went down in a heap for San Antonio. Play continues. Monterey Bay not obliged to play it out. They continue on.
Good shot.
Oh, foot put in. Well done. Buckmaster now back to his feet. San Antonio trying to break through. Start to the second half livelier than we saw in the first. And either side capitalize on the open nature of this play now. Martinez. Manley. San Antonio looks around the back. Nice move by Nalati. Cutting in. Nalati goes for goal. Starting to see more shots in the second half now. Maybe it's these two sides coming out of their show being more aggressive, because one is really not enough. You need three.
He's been active, Nalati, especially in between lines, playing as a withdrawn striker. Has the ability to skip by individual defenders, but his shoulders are leaning back. That's why it goes up and over the crossbar.
That one nice moment in the first half with the tic-tac-toe passing from San Antonio through the 18. It was just behind Solinak, but they haven't connected in that way ever since. It's that front three that poses such a threat for San Antonio. Game in, game out. And again, just reading off the names on that line. Agudelo, Solinak, and Hernandez joining it with his 8 assists. But they just haven't gotten it there often enough tonight. Goal scoring is starting to become a real theme, a real issue for Monterey Bay. The red card didn't help them last week in the 1-0 loss against Miami, and it came in the 39th minute. Hernandez here, goes down. Thought for Adeguin, and he gives the penalty. Oh, he hesitated for a moment, had a word with his assistant referee, and granted it. That turns this game on its head. Guzman with his foot caught in the cookie jar from 12 yards out. San Antonio can take the lead.
We talked about this game. When lost in a critical moment. You're Guzman and you go down, you have to be so sure that you're going to make a play on the ball. No play on the ball. Catches Hernandez. And that second view, I think it's a clear pen.
Guzman still pleading his case. Kai Green over for a chat as well. They're gathering around the assistant referee because you could see the referee, Eligio Adeguin, the center referee, hesitate. He went to the earpiece for a word with the assistant referee and then called it.
The ball's gone this touch here from Hernandez, but just watch the left leg right there as it comes up. Gets contact on Hernandez. There is a foul, no question about it. In the end, I do think it's a really good call from our center referee, Eligio Adeguin.
and a good bit of refereeing overall to confer with your assistant referee who had a better vantage point from that angle.
Because our first look, Joe, that's when we looked at each other and we didn't really see if there's any contact. But the second look that the sideline referee had a better vantage point.
Lucho
Big opportunity here.
Is the one to step up too. Pair of goals this season. It's his second stint in San Antonio. Helped them in 2020 to make a playoff run. A moment that will have a reverberation through the Western Conference playoff chase. A 6-point swing on the line between these two teams tonight. A lifeline for San Antonio not only tonight, but in the playoff race. Solinak against Herrera. Lucho Solinak hesitates and then scores! San Antonio with the lead on the road.
The left leg here from Guzman catches Hernandez as he lifts it up at the last second. And your experienced player, Solinak, just watch this little stutter step, and as he does that, eyes on Herrera the whole way. Reads the body movement of the goalkeeper. He goes one side, I go the other. Third on the season, and more importantly, gives San Antonio 1-0 lead here in Monterey Bay.
Just as the dominoes fell leading up to that penalty, we're starting to talk about the goal-scoring woes for Monterey Bay. 1-0 loss last time out to Miami. 0-0 the match before against El Paso. It's verging on 3 straight without a goal, and now they desperately need 1. And maybe desperately need 2 in the grand scheme of the playoff race. Expect them to be aggressive and maybe some subs afoot as well. Maybe the insertion of Christian Valesky. Now for San Antonio, can you see it through? Can you hold on? On the road with a limited bench, only 4 outfield players. One of them already used with Vin Bickler coming on at halftime.
Now the gamesmanship is going to start here for San Antonio. Understanding the lack of bench. Taking a little bit longer to get up, slow this game down. So if you are Monterey Bay, it's not only a physical test, it's a mental test as well.
Now in the live table, this would push San Antonio to within 2 of the playoff line. We'd have 3 teams tied on 28 points, chasing FC Tulsa on 30. The Orange County, San Antonio, and Monterey Bay.
Juan Martinez just got bodied off moments ago from Solinak, just catches the heels of Hernandez.
Going to see a lot of this the rest of the way. San Antonio knowing what's at stake. Every second counts. Crowd will grow more and more restless with each passing similar moment to this one. Given away on the step. It's won back by Buckmaster, ahead to Solinak. That is out for a corner. San Antonio now on a set piece. Can you double down on what you just did on the penalty and really put this one on ice?
Just see the confidence starting to grow for San Antonio.
Bagel corner, corner kick.
No real rhythm in that first half. You have every single player wanting to get on the ball. Like you said, Joe, with this man over at 8 assists on the season, quickly turn this into 9.
Well, the second effort at it now, Hernandez. Slipped on the delivery. Brejito. Hernandez. Brejito part of a very difficult stretch for San Antonio. On the road against Monterey Bay. Next up is on the road against Oakland, then on the road against Phoenix. Doing it all on the road here in this stretch. 4 straight. Now after that, they get to come home, but it's home against Rhode Island, home against Sacramento. 2 really difficult opponents. Going to close out the stretch. They're at El Paso, struggling, but you never know in Copa Tejas. Then at Colorado Springs, home to Louisville, home to Detroit City, 2 top teams in the East. So it's a very, very difficult run-in for San Antonio. You consider all of that, you consider where you are in the table, you consider that you're up with 29 minutes to go. This is in must-win territory now, must-hold-on territory for San Antonio. Can they add on here? They're Agudelo.
Again, just a little too slow for Agudelo to make a decision. You have a little bit of space in the attacking 18-yard box. Why not pull the trigger?
Christian Valesky has just taken off the warm-up top. He's on his way in. It's very dire now. Monterey Bay down to 11. 3 teams tied on 28, but Monterey Bay, the only one of those 3 teams that has played 27 matches at the end of tonight. San Antonio and Orange County would be on 26. So they are certainly the ones in the worst spot right now. Massive 6-point swing, and it's currently going San Antonio's way. Could end the night tied on points. Monterey Bay, after starting the night 3 back. It's going to be Valesky and Brent Robinson coming in. Donor. Giving away to Solinak. No official word on those substitutions yet for Monterey Bay. Seems like they're still holding off. Having some final words with Jordan Stewart, the head coach. I believe it's Alan Marcina who picks up that yellow. Alan Marcina's the one shrugging and walking away as if it was his. We'll wait for confirmation. It's actually going to Reese Buckmaster, who's sitting there next to Alan Marcina for delaying that restart. Still see Valesky and Robinson over near the technical area next to Jordan Stewart. I don't know what the holdup is. Down a goal after that penalty. You'd imagine they want to get them out there as quickly as possible, provide a spark, but still holding off. You wait too long, San Antonio might make it 2-0 in the interim. Gonzalez.
Just going to play simple if you're Gonzalez. Make a clever run. Retain possession. Moby Fair is there to support you. Now you can go out the other way. But as you try to overcomplicate things, You give San Antonio the ability to regain possession and just get some confidence yet again.
USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Still, Valesky and Robinson tethered to their head coach in that technical area. Do you have any idea why they've held off on these subs? I'm still trying to rack my brain.
No idea.
I was going to say, the folks at home can't see that you're shaking your head next to me. Words, Ricky, words. Been there. We were there for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes almost. It's going to be Walmer Martinez and Michael Gonzalez. We're told now who will depart. Robinson and for Valesky. BBSI substitutions, the return of Christian Valesky becomes all-time leading scorer.
Martinez and number 18, Michael Gonzalez. Entering the match, number 12, Grant Robinson. And making his return to Monterey Bay FC, number 8, Christian Valesky.
18 goals in all competitions for Monterey Bay. Joined officially just 2 days ago. Can he be the difference maker? It'll be some story if he is the one to bring them at least level and maybe beyond tonight. They desperately need it. And they will have a corner.
As Grant Robinson has came onto this field, now he's going to provide a little bit of direct play with his runs. Expect him to test the shape of San Antonio in hopes to get Valesky some little pocket of space so he can operate in.
From the corner, hit from distance, the block on the way through. Loaded back in again. It's misplayed by Sanchez. Fortunate that he wasn't punished for it.
And it's the second time, Joe, that we've seen Richard Sanchez almost make a mess out of a ball being whipped into his 18-yard box. He's a goalkeeper. Decision-making is everything. And if you do elect to step off your line, you have to be able to make a play on the ball. Not once, but twice. Just misjudges it.
The 31-year-old Valesky had been with Halifax Wanderers of the Canadian Premier League this year. Here's Dixon. And to slide it back in behind for Valesky, who had 9 goals in the regular season last year for Monterey Bay, 7 in the 2022 season. Whipped in from Donor, loose in front. And now dealt with. Again, centered toward Valesky, who has 62 USL Championship goals in his career. Going back to time with Oklahoma City and St. Louis. Switchbacks, Rochester, you name it. Been around the block in the USL Championship. Hey, remember earlier when we saw that attempt from midfield and I said, hey kids, YouTube, Ricky Lopez-Espin midfield goal. Well, our terrific production crew found it. So let's bask in it. Let's bask in it. Come on, give us the play-by-play. It was your play.
Just look at the number 9. Always stayed into the game, head up the whole way. Just watch the technical ability. Head down, lace through the ball. In Fort Lauderdale, Joe, we don't only score regular goals, especially from 60 yards. You put it in the top corner.
Hey, I mean, the nicest part about that is you hit the back of the net on the fly. How many times on those do we see it bounce in and it's kind of anticlimactic? No, you almost took the net off the post on that one.
I've been watching a lot of you playing pickup, and that's where my inspiration comes from.
Hey now. We play only half field pickup, so for me, a quote-unquote midfield goal is basically from the edge of the 18. Well, we have seen one more shot on target from Ricky Lopez-Espin tonight than Monterey Bay. Still 10 shots, none on target. Now from this free kick, snatched by Herrera. San Antonio looking for a second. Through and it's out for a corner.
It's really uncharacteristic, like from both of these sides, with just so much talent on the attacking sides. It's a little bit too long, too pedestrian. Like when you get into the attacking 18-yard box, it's one touch too many from Luke Hawkinson.
Bagel corner.
When you create a little bit of separation, that's when you do not need a second invitation to whip this ball into a dangerous area.
Bagel corner kick. Hernandez curls it, punched by Herrera. Secondary ball in from Hernandez. Agudelo was there. Can't help but wonder if either of these two sides over the next 48 hours can add someone else before the roster freeze happens. Try and help either of these sides get to that playoff line. If it stays like this, it's maybe San Antonio, the more urgent of the two sides, with things slipping through the fingers for Monterey Bay.
It's a foul. I only see the argument for Nolati. He comes across, he catches Hernandez.
Dixon almost jumped that pass back.
Going back to this sub made for Jordan Stewart. Gillespie will play as a lone striker, so now Grant Robinson will pop off to that left-hand side. Alex Dixon drops in a little bit deeper next to Moby Fair. So now you have Nolati and Reblar. The legs to make those runs out of midfield can be crucial.
Donor switches. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. Crowd trying to will Monterey Bay back into this one. 11 shots, none on target. The difference right now is a penalty scored back in the 57th minute. Lucho Solinak, it's been nearly 20 minutes since then. Monterey Bay really hasn't threatened with an equalizer. Free kick in a good spot now for Monterey Bay. First glance, it seemed like a meal was made out of that by Alex Dixon. We'll have to take a closer look. That's why Alan Marcino was upset.
As this ball comes centrally, I do think Alex Dixon is a lot more comfortable in tight spaces. There is a little bit of contact, but I do agree with you, Joe. Bit soft yet again from Luke Hawkinson. Give credit to Alex Dixon. He uses the contact, he makes the most of it. And moments like this can be a nightmare for Sanchez, the goalkeeper for San Antonio. Plethora of options. I'd be surprised if we see Alex Dixon try to be clever and sneak it into that near post or lofted ball to the back post for the knockdown.
Nalati down away from the play, and that's what the stoppage is for. Saw the signal made by Guzman as if Nalati needs a sub. Miguel Guerrero will replace Nalati, so his night is done. He knew it right away when he went down. Guerrero only a handful of opportunities this year, mostly off the bench. One start. A local star at Cal State Monterey Bay. Also produced for Martinez, Adrian Revelar. Third player to go from Monterey Bay's two-sided USL 2 up to the first team. Here he is.
Entering the match, number 99, Samuel Alaki. Entering the match, number 14, Miguel Guerrero.
Does Dixon deliver, or does Dixon pull his own number here? Three-man wall. Standing over it with his right foot. Green, who's summoned now. Friendly conversation with Reese Buckmaster. Dixon clips it. It'll be a corner.
Just pulled a little bit too far. Just pulled a little bit too far for Alex Dixon. You need to place that ball right on top of that 6-yard box. It's a big opportunity that goes wasted for Jordan Stewart and Monterey Bay.
Sixth Bagel corner kick. Dixon curls it. Another pair of set pieces squandered by Monterey Bay. Hugo Mbong getting set to check in. Told it'll be for Brahito when the time comes. Mbong comes in with a goal and an assist this season, on loan from Toronto FC. Another BBSI substitution. Brahito had a couple of moments, especially in that first half. We really broke out and led the charge for San Antonio. Nothing to show for it statistically in the end, but strong showing again. The loanee who joined nearly a month ago.
Crafty little player. Left footer, you can see how technical he is. And Mbong is going to give you another body to play off of now for Alan Marcino. Tells you where his head is at. He does think that you can win this game. The secondary goal in transitional moments. Soloniak, Gudelo, and Mbong will be your front three for Alan Marcino. Talk about talent.
Still looking for that first shot on target, Monterey Bay. A little bit of a kick out there. Roccadello, when he went to ground, that's what some of the fans are unhappy about.
At some point, if you are a Monterey Bay player, you have to realize how tightly contested the center referee is calling this game. You have to make a play in terms of your decision making, the way that you go into challenges. Because over the last 5 minutes, it's been the same type of foul that you've conceded.
Seen Valesky touch the ball. They haven't found the surface to him since he came on. Racing down the right side. Bong. Laid back for Herrera. Time is really wearing thin now for Monterey Bay, especially when you consider the mindset, the position they're in the table. And Jordan Stewart said, at this point of the year, a draw, sure, it's a point. It helps. You never know. However, the rest of the board may look depending on some results elsewhere. Look at Tulsa losing last night to Phoenix, but has to be 3. That's the mindset coming in. They need 1 to even salvage a point. They need 2 in the next 7 minutes of stoppage time to get that ultimate goal of 3. And they still don't have a shot on target. It would be 3 straight games without a goal for Monterey Bay. Dixon trying to change that. Give it away. Oh, goodness. We've seen a few moments like this tonight. Again, San Antonio unharmed, and it's out for a goal kick.
Just too casual for Alan Marcina's side. The game has completely changed when Alex Dixon has played centrally. Him and Reblar give you a different dynamic to make those runs out of midfield and give some more pressure underneath Valesky. But if you're Hernandez and Reese Buckmaster, no need to try to play out of the back.
Should be an 8th straight without a win for Monterey Bay. Be 3 straight without a goal. Last win came 1-0 at Pittsburgh on July 6th. For San Antonio, it'll be a 2nd win in the last 4. And it'd be a stretch now of 5 games, but they only lost once. If they hold on to win here, it'd be 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in the last 5. And that is a stark contrast to the period of play that preceded it. Going into this stretch of 5 games, they had previously lost 8 of 9. And were really in a bad spot. So 2-2-1 in a 5-game stretch is not necessarily good by most standards, but it's better than what it was, and it gets them back up against that playoff line and salvages their season.
Just need more numbers in the attacking 18-yard box. There's only Valesky versus about 4 or 5 San Antonio players. Down a goal, remaining 5+ here. Talk about Jordan Stewart knowing how important these 3 points are up for grabs. Need more options to play into.
Reblar. Donor cutting in, taken down. Payan says the referee, is he giving advantage or did he not determine it was a foul? Those are 2 very different things in this situation because he brought the whistle to the mouth. If he thought it was an advantage, I beg to differ. I think Monterey Bay would have liked the free kick right at the edge of the box.
Here, Donor, you stay down as well. You'll need to try to recover to your feet really quick.
I mean, they're Ferrer did raise that left arm as if to signal advantage, so perhaps he just didn't see a foul, but it seemed like Donor was clipped from behind. Anyway, 4 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, still 1-0 San Antonio. Solinak penalty, now a half hour ago. Penalty is San Antonio's only shot on target in the second half. Might be all they need, though. Revelar chasing, well defended.
Talk about the lack of efficiency for Monterey Bay, but you have to give credit to Alan Marcina and the San Antonio back line. Spot on in terms of their assignments, providing coverage for one another. Stingy in the back, compacting their structure. Been really difficult to break down through 87 minutes here.
Andrew Walker, who became the youngest to debut in San Antonio history back on June 8th. His only appearance of the season for 19 minutes. He's getting set to check in. We've alluded to it all evening long that San Antonio side had a light bench, only 4 outfield players, 2 were signed professionals, 2 were academy contract players, including, again, the youngest to debut, who's set to come in for just his second pro appearance. Andrew Walker just turned 15 in May. Donor, headed back centrally by Green, or rather by Manley.
What were you doing when you were 15 years old, Joe?
He's probably playing FIFA. Does it startle you that we're getting to a point now that a player who's about to enter is just about half your age? Is that startling?
Why are you outing me right now? I'm supposed to be filling up my bucket.
Hey, it's worse than when I'm with Devin Kerr or something who's another decade older than you. At least you're still on the right side of 30.
There you go. I got 2 more years on me. Give credit to Alan Marcina as well. Affording young players the opportunity. Anything we know from our chats with him over the years, it's never given, always deserved, and what a moment this is for Andrew Walker.
He went 19 minutes in that debut. He'll sub on now for Juan Agudelo, who at one time was that quote-unquote Andrew Walker. Burst onto the scene at 18 with the New York Red Bulls. That now 13 years ago. You asked me what I was doing at 15. I was probably in the stands as a Red Bull season ticket holder watching Juan Agudelo. It comes full circle there. Another BBSI substitution. Minute. Monterey Bay has to commit everything forward now. Seven minutes of stoppage time. Still ample opportunity for Monterey Bay to find a way back. Long, time will be fair. Service from out wide toward Valesky, didn't quite get there. Manley got his head on it. I'll be fair. Still loose edge of the area. And the effort off target from the center back, Kai Green. They've sent him forward now to be an extra target player.
Bit hopeful here for Monterey Bay, where this from Grant Robinson as his ball circulates back across. Better in terms of the number. Higher up the field. Through Kai Green. Communication between you and Adrian Reblar will be a little bit better because Adrian Reblar has a better run up to this ball.
San Antonio is able to hold on. This would be a terrific victory. Whipped in, glanced along by Green. Hasn't been the prettiest from San Antonio, but take everything into equation. On the road, on the West Coast, only 4 outfield players on the bench, 2 of those pros, 2 of those academy kids. Find a way. You draw the penalty, you convert it. You've held on now for almost 40 minutes. A win is a win, and they all stack up at this time of the year to get them within 2 of the playoff line.
Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be efficient. And this is the type of win that really can galvanize a group. We'll talk about all the variables that have come the way of San Antonio. Throw in that they've only won once away from Texas as well. Lost 9 times, have drawn twice. What a fantastic result this would be for Alan Marcin and company. It'll do a world of good for their character and their morale within the locker room.
And that one road win came on April 20th at Hartford. Ballooned in again. Throw coming from Monterey Bay. Nearly 5 months since San Antonio's only road win of the season. Not out of the woods yet. At this point, a tie would feel like a loss given the circumstances. Revelar. Comes forward again. Sanchez has it. Starting to feel desperate now for Monterey Bay, heaving it forward. Nothing coming off, though. The schedule ahead is unkind as well. It's at Vegas next. Vegas, one of the most informed teams in the league. Hernandez, flag comes up. Vegas, home Orange County, home Detroit City. The next 3 in a row for Monterey Bay. Then it's at Phoenix, at Sacramento, home Colorado Springs, at Tulsa. The silver lining is if they can cozy up next to that playoff line, on decision day, they get Tulsa, who's the 8th place team. But it's starting to look bleak that they might be in that position right now, especially with that schedule I rattled off. everybody just about aside from Orange County comfortably above their respective playoff lines. Maybe the last chance for Monterey Bay to salvage a point. Foul goes against the home side. Kai Green not too happy. He again felt like he was undercut there. And he is going to pick up a yellow.
Pure frustration from Kai Green. I tend to agree with him. That's not a foul whatsoever. He just wants this ball that much more than two San Antonio players. Not having the success in the attacking phase of the game, but that is not a foul whatsoever from Kai Green.
Seven minutes come and gone. Alan Marcina begging for the whistle a moment ago. Glanced at his watch, knows what this means. As soon as that whistle sounds, there's a 6-point swing tonight. Monterey Bay with a win could have gone 6 clear of San Antonio, could have gone above the playoff line. Instead, San Antonio and Monterey Bay will be level on 28 points each. Tulsa in 8th, that coveted final playoff spot on 30. Anyone's guess now exactly how much time is left after this stoppage. It was because the goalkeeper, Richard Sanchez, had to get his water bottle off the field. Hawkinson waved back on. I wonder if anything is added on now because of that stoppage. There was about a minute left when Green took that foul and yellow card. Mbong taking it toward the corner, cuts back in. Mbong goes down, free kick, but they might not even need to take it. Lihio Adegain walks over to mark off where the free kick will be.
It's just silly from Lara. There's no need to try to win this ball. Back like I mentioned, again, I do think he takes a lot of the ball and not of Mbong.
And there is the final whistle. San Antonio comes on the road, earns just their 2nd road victory of the season on a Lucho Solinak goal from the penalty spot in the 57th minute. They hold on the rest of the way.
What a massive 3 points this is for San Antonio and their playoff hopes. We talk about
Ladies and gentlemen, your final
the skinny
score
bench
for Monterey Bay FC,
for Alan Marcina, not having quality, not having a lot of players that can come on and provide. But you win this game through a set piece, a penalty, and you continue to push up this Western Conference. And now for Monterey Bay, 8 unbeaten.
The Golden Memorial man of the match for Monterey Bay is Christian Valesky makes his return to the club after spending the year away in the Canadian Premier League. Club's all-time leading scorer, but he could not impact the final score tonight. They're going to need him every step of the way down the stretch if they're going to claw back into it.
The player that you bring in to be that difference maker, so now he has to continue opportunities to be that difference maker and find the back of the net. So if you're Christian Valesky, didn't probably have the service that you would have liked or the impact that you would have liked in your return. but you still have another opportunity. Massive games for this young man as we approach the back end of the season.
San Antonio celebrates the 3 points tonight. We're back in just a moment from Cardinale Stadium to wrap things up. San Antonio 1, Monterey Bay 0.
As Montage Health celebrates its 90th anniversary, we're taking a look at the past, recognizing how we started and where we are heading. Over the decades, we have grown from a hospital to an entire healthcare system. Today, Montage Health remains an independent, locally owned, nonprofit organization. We are proud to offer healthcare services for every chapter of life. At Montage Health, our history of excellence is rooted in a commitment to our community. That commitment lives on today and for the next 90 years and beyond.
Take a look at highlights from San Antonio's 1-0 victory over Monterey Bay. Some chances early on, but not able to convert.
It starts with the set piece for Monterey Bay. Luke Hawkinson, as he drops the shoulder of Nalati. Oh, what can Monterey Bay do with this opportunity? Because you knew this game was going to be fine margin. There was going to be one single play. You go short. Nalati does everything right. How quickly he takes that first touch out of his body, but unable to get his hips and wrap his foot around it to bend it back to Sanchez's far post. Give credit to Hernandez, does just enough, and he closes down the space really quickly.
They had 13 shots on the evening, but just like that one that you saw there, all 13 off target.
Talked about Agudelo coming in and the impact that he can bring in. Hernandez, 2 goals, 8 assists on the season, but watch the left leg of Guzman right there. As he rises up at the last second, he catches the right shin of Hernandez. I don't really know what the confusion is all about. It is a clear foul, it's a clear pen. Who's gonna step up? Olenyak. The way that he approaches it, head up, eyes on the goalkeeper the whole way. Herrera goes one way, I go the other. Simple pen in the end, executes it to perfection, and he gives San Antonio the lead.
And that is all they would need when all was said and done. They would nurse that all the way, the rest of the way. The possibility standings at the end of the night show Monterey Bay down in 11th, and San Antonio now joins that group of 3 teams on 28.
Alan Marcina, you have to be loving what you're seeing in this table. You continue to push up. And this San Antonio side, we talked about it, this type of result is what can galvanize the troops. They have talent, they have players that are going to come back into health. Watch out for San Antonio as we approach it back into this season.
San Antonio comes back out to this part of the country next week, a road game against the Oakland Roots, and it's a road trip to Vegas for a desperate Monterey Bay, now winless in their last 8. San Antonio takes it 1-0. It wraps up a busy, important, formative week of USL Championship when it comes to the standings. It's all coming down the stretch now. Every single team with single-digit games remaining. The next time you see USL action, it'll be Wednesday night. CBS Sports Network Birmingham, home against Tampa. The crew that makes this possible, I'm broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Mava saying so long from Seaside. San Antonio wins it 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.